What's going on? How's everybody? Oh boy. Somebody was calling somebody. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, what's going on with you? Um, it's 11 p.m. East Coast time, and I said I would be here. Hopefully, folks can hear me. I just got to set my timer, and probably about 30 minutes, 25, something like that. Just let you know it's set. I ain't see who the comment was from. I said I would be here. MTA Troubles. Uh, Laura. Oh wow. I didn't expect to see you here, but I'm still one of your topics. Let's talk about this. Nah. This time. Nah. I can still one of your topics. Basically, I'm just here to talk about relationships. I was asked by somebody last night to talk about relationships. Evelyn. She said she wanted to hear about that, and yeah, this is what we're about to do. So thank you for that one person that tuned in, Laura. Um, and I just want to talk about the different type of relationships that people go through. Let me know if you can't hear me on this live stream because I don't know how it is with the headphones and stuff like that in. So, just let me know if you can't hear me. But as far as relationships go, I mean, everybody has different type of relationships. Co-worker relationships, um, relationships as far as family, friends, romantic relationships and stuff like that. Of course, people know all about that. I mean, but I guess what makes them significant is the type of work that you put into your relationships and stuff like that. I believe that any particular relationships is as important as a job. It's as important as you going out there to make money or whatever. If you don't put the effort into it and the quality into what it is that you're doing, then who's to say that it'll be a healthy relationship? If it is to be anything. Sometimes in relationships, people are not who they say they are. Folks appear one way and then you know comes out that they're really somebody else, and it's a struggle. It's a challenge. What I'm saying it's like sometimes people are looking at you for what you can do for them, as opposed to who you are. Instead of trying to get to know you, for yourself. And it could be a game that we play. Sometimes we play the game with ourselves. Sometimes we play the game with other people. I always say that the worst lies that you can tell are the ones that you tell to yourself, and especially when it comes to other people. You know, Sometimes we see in people what we would like them to be, as opposed to who they are. And that could be a problem, definitely a problem, because now you spend all this time getting to know the facade of a person, and you actually don't know the person. And that's a big problem because you wasted so much time that you could have been spending on somebody else. You know, um, and I think a lot of people don't know how to be in relationships with folks or regular relationships. Be it a committed relationships. Of course, family. You can't really do much because that's your family. So what are you gonna do? You know, you can't divorce yourself from your family, but you can actually divorce yourself from somebody you're in an actual relationship with. And I say that it's just it's like being straight up with people is very important. It's very important to just try to connect with people in a real way. It's like treat folks the way you would want to be treated, and I think a lot of times that's missing. Sometimes people get jaded in relationships, be it with family, friends, significant others, you know, because I may have had a bad relationship with somebody else, and then I see some characteristics in you. So now all of a sudden, when it comes to you, I'm treating you bad based off of what I experienced before, and sometimes that's not really fair, to the people that we're dealing with. And let me just walk out into the hallway. Why not talk about that a little bit in the hallway? Um, you know, it's good to look outside some of it a little bit. You know, Maybe you can see what's going on outside. I don't know if you can see what's going on outside. That's the streets of Brooklyn. And that's just me taking a segue off of what's going on. Um, but yeah, when it comes to relationships, I think it's just important to be realistic about what you want, what you're looking for, and I think sometimes we're not, be it with family, be it with friends, be it with significant others. Like I said, relationships do take work. You know, um, if you don't work at them, no matter how much you want to be with somebody, no matter how much you care about somebody, it just won't work out. Be it a friend, be it a family member, be it a coworker, a significant other. It really just takes work. And I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but it's significant. And I think a lot of people just don't give themselves a chance, in a relationship when they're dealing with particular people. But, I guess that's really what it is. You know, I think the keys to relationship, I can't say what every great relationship is, but maybe some of you have heard of stuff like this, like love, like trust, compassion, empathy, not being so judgmental when you find out the imperfections of a person and stuff like that. And when it comes to a time where you're just really being real with a person, some great things can happen, as opposed to just, going for the facade. In life, a lot of times, we go for the vanity of it all, like I heard a woman say one time, I believe in love at first sight. And you can do that, but the problem is what happens when you find out what you've seen at first sight is not the truth. And, that could be really a big letdown, but a lot of times, we look at the outside, the outer appearance, and the outer appearance, is what dictates, in a lot of ways, why we'll get into a relationship with somebody, or we'll look at what a person is worth, financially, as opposed to understanding the character, of a person. And I think we don't look at the character. Now, don't get me wrong, in relationships, you don't want to get with somebody that you're not attracted to. You don't want to get with somebody that you don't care about, in at least in a physical way, some sort. You do want to have somebody that actually appeals to you. But, what's the most important thing about a relationship, and I think the most important things are the things that you see in the older folks, when you get older, is that, you have to be willing to sacrifice for each other. You have to be willing to understand each other. You have to be willing to grow with each other, through, the thick and thin, for better or worse, sickness and health. And I think in a lot of relationships is more of a transactional type of thing. Sometimes it's not always, a situation where, because people really care and really want to empathize with a person. And I think we need to see each other for the character of who we are, Um, yeah. And I just realized, yeah, I'm here on a Friday night on the live stream, basically kind of sort of by myself. I know people are probably out there doing whatever they do. And one of the reasons why I'm on a live stream by myself is just because I came home from work, so I'm doing that whole thing, but hopefully this is interesting to anybody that watches this in the playback. And basically I'm talking about, relationships and things that people go through, you know, it takes work. And I think when folks are not willing to put the work in, you suffer for it in the end, because you want to be in a situation where, you feel like the other person cares or is concerned, about you on the other end. And when they're not, they feel like you could be wasting your time sometimes, you know, regardless of who it is. Only thing is you can't really do too much with your family, you know. You can't make them disappear. Some people might feel like that. But for the most part, you know, honesty, is a big key, what I'm saying, love, showing compassion towards the next person, just a willingness to not judge a person. Like I said, I'm repeating myself, and thank you for the like, for the person that gave me the like. Um, Again, I just think relationships take work. They take work because it's a lifetime affair. It's something that, you know, doesn't mature over, of course, of 1 or 2 days. It's like I was watching an old movie one time. It's called The Catered Affair with Ernest Borgnine, and he was talking to his wife, and his wife was having, issues with him back and forth. They was trying to figure out how to pay for the daughter's wedding. And I remember what Ernest Borgnine said to his wife in the movie. She was like, maybe you don't love me anymore, you don't care about me. And then he said to her, he says, to know you is like, a lifetime, or, it's like a day in the life or something like that. And it may take a lifetime to know a person. But if it takes a lifetime to know a person, if it takes, so many years, X amount of years, then, the question is it worth it to you to build those relationships, or that relationship with the people that you really care about? Oh, Laura says, really? DMs Mix Up says, oh, yeah, we'll be together 25 years next month. See, I appreciate that. Stuff when I hear stuff like that, people together for 25 years and they put in the work. If anything, DM, could you tell me what were some of the things that help you be together 25 years? I would be interested to know. Anytime I hear couples that are together 50 years, 25 years, 30 years, 40, 50, 60, I'll be interested to know what helped keep you together for 25 years, especially in the world now, full of divorce and infidelity and stuff like that, with, folks cheating on each other. Not trying to go there, but, you know, I would like to know, because we live in a society now where, being promiscuous is the thing. And, to each his own for folks that do that. But I say the thing that bothers me when I hear people, okay, DMs Mix Up says, we decided before we got married, divorce was not an option. Okay, you decided divorce was not an option. Well, I mean, a lot of people, maybe they can't get there, but I think you came to an understanding with each other before the marriage started, like you said, that you would at least try to make it work. This is not something that you weren't half-heartedly into. And I think a lot of people go into relationships half-heartedly. Sometimes we love with our eyes instead of not our heart. When you love with your eyes instead of your heart, it's about what you see. DMs Mix Up says it's a lot of give and take after that decision. Yes, and I agree with that. And I think a lot of the times you have in relationships a lot of takers. You don't have a lot of givers. And then also too, sometimes I don't think we're realistic with the people that we're going after. And one of the things I didn't want to forget in this conversation is courtship. A lot of people don't do courtship nowadays. Almost like an interview process. I joked with one of my homeboys. I said, when I get with a female, I need to start interviewing them because I need to make sure I'm getting with the right person. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're so caught up in the physical that, you just jump into a situation with somebody without even going on 2 or 3 dates with them and stuff like that. Some people say that's old fashioned. Some people say you get together and, you know what, if the moment feels right, I've had a couple of ex-girlfriends say to me, go with the flow. Now, the problem with just going with the flow is that, first off, if I don't know your HIV status, secondly, I don't know if we're actually really compatible. Another thing, I don't know if you got a boyfriend or somebody on the side. We haven't even figured out each other's personality. It's like an old timer said to me one time. You want to at least find out how a person is when they argue. What are their religious beliefs? Do they believe in God? What are your political leanings? What are your favorite types of foods? What are your favorite colors? All these different things. You can find this stuff out about people and then change your mind, which is totally fine. But I think people don't take enough time to get to know each other, man, to actually dig in deep to who a person is. Hey, Yas Poet, I see you. Have a blessed weekend, bro. One love. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate even a second of your time, a moment of your time. Anybody that watches, that just, pops in and pops out, I appreciate your time. But back to what I was talking about. I think courtship is not done enough, and maybe it's a lost art, the lost art of courtship in a relationship. And really, what courtship is just, figuring out and finding out who you're dealing with before you go into the physical stuff. It's like a famous song that Janet Jackson had back in her day, or she's still around, but back in the 80s or so. She said, "Let's wait a while." For anybody that knows that, Google "Let's wait a while," Janet Jackson. She said, "Let's wait a while before we go too far." And one of the things in the song, she's just talking about, basically getting to know a person before you take it to that next step. And I remember what my mother always told me when I was a youngin'. She was like, when you have sex with somebody, it changes everything. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your status is, sexual, whatever, just adding more to it. And the moment you actually go past that point where you begin to have physical contact with each other, even if the relationship don't work out, it's still something where, what, everything's changed because you shared an intimate moment with a person. And if you share the intimate moment, at least you want to know that this is somebody that was compatible with you, or possibly compatible, or maybe there was a high percentage of a chance that this could have worked out. And sometimes we're just caught up in, the physical. I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes I may see somebody that physically they look a certain way, so I particularly say, you know what, you know, maybe we can get it on. But then, when you come to find out that you took a time, to go and do that instead of trying to know the person, you find out that fools rush in, and people say, well, I should be able to do what I want to do, free flowing, it's YOLO. You only live once, for those that don't know, and you could do that. But I tell anybody that goes with the flow, that's YOLO, that wants to do what they want to do, there's some consequences that come with that. You could find out, that maybe that person is not compatible with you. Maybe this person is crazy. Maybe this person is abusive. Maybe they're not as clean as they should be. STDs. Maybe they have financial issues, criminal records. Which I'm not saying are reasons to judge a person, but you want to know beforehand what's going on. DMs Mix-Up says that stuff just leaves you empty. That is true. That is true. That is true. I mean, there's so many empty feelings you can have when you just rush into it and not actually get to know the person that you're dealing with. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's the one night stands, one night flings, or whatever. I may speak on that too. I have some thoughts on one night stands, but that's for another topic. That's for another conversation. Because to tell you the truth, talking about relationships is probably not even my favorite thing. I get annoyed sometimes, get a flashback and ah, like, oh, why did that happen? But if you're wise, you live, you learn, you experience things, you're able to talk about stuff, you're able to, impart some wisdom onto the youth and let them know. Because if anything, I say to the youth, regardless if you gay, straight, atheist, or skinny, fat, otherwise, I say don't rush into any particular situation. Find out who the person is. I mean, my rule of thumb, or at least what I say, is if you don't want to court somebody for months, a year, whatever, at least go on 2 or 3 dates. You know, by the second or third date, you should know if this is somebody that you actually want to pursue a relationship with. This is somebody that may be, somebody you're into. I say 3 dates. What's 3 dates going to hurt? Those 3 dates could save your life. Those 3 dates could save you money, could save you time, could save you energy and effort into the future. Like, I'll give you a story. Um, you know, well, I don't think any ex-girlfriends is watching, but whatever. I was in this one relationship one time, and the female that I was dealing with, we decided that, we wasn't going to rush into the relationship, and do too much and take it too fast. I'm not going to say how quickly things happen because I'm not trying to out anybody, but let's just say that the relationship moved a lot quicker than I expected, and things didn't work out because we really didn't take time to get to know each other and stuff like that. And I think the relationship only lasted about 6 months or so, something like that, because you just so caught up in how the person looks and how they sound and stuff like that. And I think that's an issue when you don't take the time out to get to know somebody. I mean, what does it hurt to go out on a date? What does it hurt to sit in the park and talk, go to the movies, go to dinner, go to a museum, see people in different settings, um, ask them how they feel about the future and stuff like that. And I think that's not done enough, you know. I think it's a situation where people feel like, you know what, I like what I see, it's in front of me, the person is feeling right or looking right, smelling right, saying all the right things. Why not? And you can do that. But I say that stems from a lot of the problems that people may go through with just rushing into a situation without actually getting to know the person. I mean, like I said, to each his own. But when I say we rush into situations, just know it comes with consequences. It comes with being in a situation where you may be dealing with a stranger and you've put in, you know, X amount of time, and you could have been, like really trying to do something else or be with somebody else that's more compatible with you. And what I mean by compatible is somebody who's willing to, like DMX Mixup says, go through that give and take with you. Those folks that are sacrifices with you, you sacrifice for them, they sacrifice for you. And it's not so much just about what a person can do for you, because many times I see situations, both male and female, where you have people who are in situations because of convenience. Maybe you got married because, somebody got pregnant, or maybe you with somebody because, financially it makes sense to do that. And the problem with stuff like that is that, you know, anything can happen. DMX Mixup says any more you say you're dating, that means you're in a relationship and not actually just going on dates. True, 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 true. You do get to a point where, you know what, after a certain amount of dates, you messing with somebody, you actually are dating. But I still think it's a certain cutoff to where you should say to the person, look, maybe it's not going to work out. Maybe we should just be friends. I'd see you around. Okay, whatever. But obviously that doesn't happen because, people want what they want. Physical lust happens, all these different things. And even with that, I say, be honest with a person. If you're not really trying to get with a person, if you're just going for the one night stand, if it's just a physical thing, be honest. And I think a lot of honesty is missing in relationships as far as who folks are and what they want to be. And I'll say to folks out there, if you're dealing with somebody and they tell you what they really want for you and you accept it, you accept whatever terms of the agreement or the relationship or lack of relationship, don't fool yourself about what it is. If it's a one night stand, don't fool yourself into thinking this is a full blown relationship. And now, if it's 2 or 3 one night stands, that's not a relationship. All you did was just have sex. And I think a lot of people fool themselves and trick themselves. Sometimes we want to get out our build a bear hat and try to make people into what we want them to be. Sometimes you'll find a person with the right height, right weight, right amount of money. They talk smooth. They come from the right background, but they're just not into the same things that you're into. They're just not really compatible. And then we'll fool ourselves into thinking that, hey, you know what? If I make this person feel good, or if I stay in a relationship, or if I do X, Y, and Z, eventually this person is going to become that. People show you who they are after a while. You know, be it a coworker, be it friends, even family. But family you can't get rid of. Family can't just divorce yourself from. Some people may try, but that's another issue. So, I mean, my thing is just like, to me, honesty and truth is a big deal when it comes to relationships, man. Because I think people are not honest enough with themselves. They're not honest enough with the people that they're dealing with. And, if you want to have any real relationship, you need trust, you need love. You need those two key things. You need an openness, a willingness to have give and take, like DMX Mixup said. DMs Mixup. I said DMX. um, it's just a situation where if you're really serious about who you're dealing with, you'll give it the effort. You'll put it in. You'll make those sacrifices back and forth. And relationships, it takes two. Oh, wow. Wow. We got Larry on there. Word, word. I see you. I see you, Larry. Oh man, that's a special guest right there. DMs Mixup says, get to know the other person crazy, then decide if you're willing to live with that as part of your relationship. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that people just don't take the time just to get to know each other first. I mean, look, I say it like this. If you decide you're going to have a one night stand and that's going to be it, or you're just going to have a friends with benefits situation, then be real about that. Oh, White Pac. Yo, got White Pac in the building. I see you, bro. We're just talking about relationships. Thank you for those folks, Larry and White Pac, that just joined into the live stream, just talking about relationships. And I say to folks out there, man, you know what? It don't hurt to get to know folks. And Larry says amen to that. White Pac says, what's up, player? What's up, player? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just on this live stream talking about relationships and things that matter to folks out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what? And then also, too, let's talk about relationships that don't work out. I remember my father, one of the things that actually he did teach me, through our crazy time or the other, he said, look, sometimes things don't work out and you have to learn how to just go your separate ways. You don't, you know, make it more of a scene, more of what it is. Things don't happen, you go your way, I go my way. And sometimes that happens after you done got married. Sometimes it happens after you done got kids, and folks done got locked up in court cases and all kind of crazy stuff. Hopefully it doesn't get there, but it comes to a point where you have to let go. Yeah. Larry says, "Oh, I'm not gonna repeat that. I'm not gonna repeat that, man." Yeah, you try to be funny, Larry. You try to be funny, but DMX says, "I dated a girl that lied to me constantly." Yeah, I've dated women that lied to me constantly too. Believe me. But the reality with that is, you live and you learn. After a while, you start to pick up the cues and stuff like that. Men lie too. What I'm saying? Men got some tricks up their sleeves and games and stuff like that that we do, and women as well. But I believe in karma as well. So, to any of those women that lied to me out there, to any of those women that treated me any kind of way, hey, um, you know, I know certain things have transpired and came back your way, which I won't get into in this live stream that had nothing to do with me, and I'll stay out of that one. But being honest with somebody is crucial. DMs Mixer says sorry to run, but it's late for us. Thanks for keeping it real. Yeah, no, listen. Thanks DMs for coming by. So I appreciate it. You gotta go. You gotta go. Thank you for being on the live stream and contributing. Congratulations on your 25 years together. That's a big deal. Larry says I live with one that lies to me every day. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. But things happen. Thumbs up from DMs mix up. You know, I say to anybody out there, you got to be honest with yourself about the relationship that you're in. Is it something worth your time? Are you wasting your time? Being with this person, is that time wasting it? Is that person wasting their time being with you? And I think that's a situation where we have to modestly self-efface, look in the mirror, and ask ourselves. And it's challenges sometimes because sometimes we may have kids, sometimes we may have financial situations, apartments, or just different arrangements that are set up with a person, and it may not be easy to just break away. But at some point, sacrifices have to be made if you really want to move on and get to a relationship that's beneficial for you. You know. And for those folks out there that are, lying to folks all the time, don't be surprised if karma comes around and now you're dealing with somebody that's lying to you or cheating on you or putting you through the ringer. I mean, because I'm a big believer in karma in any type of relationship, be it a friendship, be it a work relationship, anything. Larry says, question, do you think I should leave her and take the kids? Wow. Um, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that on the live stream. I'm not going to tell people whether or not they should be leaving folks and taking the kids and doing that. But I do think it's a situation where you should come down to, some kind of consensus with each other if you have children or anything involved and, work something out. People have co-parenting situations and stuff like that, try to, split things amicably. I mean, but I say, especially if you have kids, always try to give respect to the baby mother or the wife or the baby father or the husband. Always try to be respectful and always think about the kids and how you affecting the kids and stuff like that. Because relationships are also tense. With the children. I'll say relationships as a parent towards the child is one of the most important relationships that anybody can have. Because the kids, we are first teachers. We're their first teachers. You know, um, the kids emulate stuff that they see from the adult figures, the parents, different people that they're dealing with. So that's a big deal. That's not something to take lightly. You know, I'm a big believer that you should always be truthful with the kids. You know, should be always real and straight up with them. You know, and I think my time is up, and I appreciate anybody that has watched, that has tuned in, that has commented. Um, I was here, 11 p.m. Eastern. Um, Thank you for the folks that will watch later on. Hopefully, this was an interesting conversation. Hopefully, I made a lot of great points, or you found something in here that was good for you. Um, for those that didn't have time to watch or couldn't watch for some reason, it's still all love. I'll see you in your live stream. No problems with that. Um, yeah, just grateful. Thank you for watching. And next time, what will I talk about next time? My mother asked me a question, um, and I think it was an interesting question, something I could tackle next time. She asked me, um, do you think, or not do you think, but she asked me, would you actually marry somebody you met online? And I think that was an interesting question because she kind of hit me with that unexpectedly out of nowhere. And I had to ponder that. Would I marry somebody that I met online? And I asked you that question. Would you marry somebody you met online? And next time, I'll get into that. So again, thank you for all those that have watched. Thank you for those that are watching in the upload or the rebroadcast. And definitely thank you for anybody that watches the whole 30 some odd minutes in the rebroadcast. Larry says, question: Do you think we could talk about politics? Yeah, we could talk about politics. Yeah, I can talk about politics. Um, yeah, I can talk about politics. Not right now though. I'm about to get off this live stream though. Anybody that wants to hit me up, you can hit me up after this. All right, thanks for watching. Take care.